Hello and welcome to part 9 of my Let's Play series of videos for Dwarf Fortress. Alright, so in the last video I showed you a few things, how to make a different kind of stairway here, this up-down stairway. I've got some sweet obsidian. One of my carpenters was trapped inside of the dry pond, which I used to irrigate my subterranean farm, and I got my miner to build a ramp right here for him to escape. I got some more migrants. It was really an action-packed episode. There was combat with monkeys, and the monkeys are now, their corpses are strewn all over the landscape. There's monkey corpse here, one here. Yeah, it's a bloody battlefield of monkey carnage. Alright, so like I said before, I'm going to try to dedicate this episode to showing you some stuff related to masonry. Masonry is one of the most important skills in the game. It's how you make things out of rock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a masonry workshop. So if you recall from before, the way that you make a building is to press B for building. And again, if you remember, I'm going to use my plus and minus keys to navigate this menu, or if you happen to know the letter, you can just go ahead and press it. Workshops, again, as I said before, are hotkey W, so I'm going to press W. And then what I want to make is a mason's workshop right here, M. So again, the key path was B for building, W for workshop, and M for mason's workshop. So now here's my selector. I'm going to choose where to place this. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here for now. So there it is. It's going to ask me what I want to make it out of. And I can make it out of any of these materials. So you see now, before I could only build things out of logs because that's all I had available. I was digging in clay and I hadn't dug up any stones, but now I've got two kinds of stone. I've got obsidian and alunite. Actually, both of these stones are really valuable. I'm almost reluctant to use it just because obsidian is relatively rare, like I said before, and alunite has a rare property of being magma safe. And we'll probably explore the concept of magma safe stone later, but in a nutshell it just means that it won't melt when exposed to magma. This is really important for getting magma forges and magma smelters and stuff operating. You can build floodgates and mechanisms and things that won't just melt when exposed to magma. So whatever, I'm gonna have this thing be real nice. I'm gonna make it out of obsidian. So now I've got it designated. You can see here's the partial construction. I'm gonna resume the game, and my mason, who is right here, is gonna go grab me some obsidian, and hopefully eventually he will come here and build this mason's workshop. In the meantime, I will go ahead and pause the video. Alright, here he comes. You can see he's hauling a little chunk of obsidian. He's going to come here. He's going to start building this sucker, and bam, there it is. Pause the game, and I'm going to start building some stuff. First thing that I'm probably going to want to build out of stone is probably a table. I want to make a nice little dining room for my guys, so I'm going to build some tables and some chairs. So tables, you can see here. Oh, let me back up. Again, to build things from buildings, you use the Q key. So right here, Q, set building task preferences. I'm going to press Q. It automatically detects when you have used your arrow keys to move it near certain buildings. So you can see my mason's workshop is now blinking. I'm going to press A to add a task, and I'm going to either press a hotkey or use plus and minus to select from this list of things that he can make. So you can see he can make armor stands, blocks, thrones, coffins, all kinds of stuff. What I really want to make now is a couple of tables. So I'm going to press T to make a table. So let's make a few of these. I'm going to make like 4 tables for right now. So there's tables. I'm going to make some chairs. The chairs are not referred to as chairs in this game. They're referred to as thrones. They're not, they're just, it's called a throne, but it's not like really a throne. It's, just a regular chair. I think you can designate it as a throne if you want, but for now, I'm just going to make a couple of these. So I'm making 4 tables and 4 thrones. I'm going to resume the game. my mason is gonna, eventually make stuff here. I'm gonna make another little furniture stockpile next to this thing, so that every time he makes furniture, it doesn't get hauled back up to the surface where I have this furniture stockpile. It's perfectly alright to have more than one stockpile for a certain kind of thing. In fact, sometimes it's really beneficial to have that. So what I'll do is I'll press P for stockpile, and then I'm going to choose U for furniture storage, and I'll make it right here. I'm also going to make a little stockpile for finished goods, G. Certain things that you'll make in your workshops will be classified as finished goods. Actually, a lot of things that you're going to make at your workshops are going to be classified as finished goods. So let's make this one pretty big, actually. So let's make this like big. Bam, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to resume the game, and here comes my guy, my mason. He's hauling a chunk of obsidian into the workshop, and he's making a table out of this obsidian. So you see my dwarves are now hauling finished goods down here. I hadn't designated a finished goods stockpile before, so they're going to start bringing stuff down. So now a couple things to point out. You may notice that no table has actually appeared here yet. The reason is that sometimes things take more than one stone to make. Oh, never mind. There it is. Okay. Well, another important thing to mention, I guess, is that when you're building items, unlike when you built the workshop, you don't directly choose what you want the items to be made out of. So my mason, I told him to make tables. I didn't tell him what to make it out of. He just went downstairs to where the stone is here, grabbed some stone, and started making stuff. Now, if I wanted him to make it out of something specific, what I could do is make a stockpile specifically for that purpose. The way that you would do this is, let's say for instance, I don't want him to use up that obsidian downstairs for making making tables and chairs and stuff. I only want him to make it out of alunite. The way that I would actually go about doing this would be by making a special stockpile that's just for alunite. So then he should theoretically only grab stone that's closest, and the closest stone will be the alunite because the stockpile will be right there next to him. So the way that you would do this is you press P for stockpile. You're going to make a stone stockpile, S for stone, and then you're going to place this stockpile. So I'm going to make a little stone stockpile right next to him. Now, normally your dwarves would start hauling the stone to this stockpile, and they just are going to grab any kind of stone because you haven't narrowed it down. But the way that you can change the settings for this stockpile after you've placed it is to use your Q key. Q, again, meaning set building tasks preferences. Well, you can also set preferences for stockpiles with your Q key. So now when I've got my cursor over the stockpile, you see I have the option to press S to change settings. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now you see, it might be kind of hard to see, depending on your monitor brightness or whatever, but the only thing that is able to go here is stone. Okay, well, I don't want all of these different kinds of stone to be able to go here. So what I can do is prohibit all but the kind of stone that I want to be able to use. So you see I can press B to block all. So I'm going to press B. So this is going to block everything. Now I can look through here and find what I want to be allowed here. And there's alunite. So I can press enter now to light that up, to select it. So now what I have is a stockpile where I can only store this one kind of metal, alunite. So I can press escape. I'm going to resume the game. Now, theoretically, what's going to happen is guys are going to start hauling up alunite from down below. And sure enough, here comes my dwarves, and they're bringing up all the alunite that I mined out, and they're going to fill up the stockpile. Now, one thing to be wary of is that when you do this, they're going to continue hauling up alunite like non-stop, which can be sort of detrimental to the workflow in your fortress. So now that I've got enough for him to handle all of the furniture building that I wanted to get done, I can just go ahead and remove this stockpile designation so that guys stop bringing things here. So again, I'm going to press P for stockpile. I'm going to press X for remove designation, and I'm going to remove this stockpile by selecting its boundaries and pressing enter. So now you can't really see the checkered background because there's stone on top of it, but take my word for it, this is now no longer a stockpile, it's just a place where this stone is, and dwarves aren't going to continually try and refill it with alunite because that stockpile has now been removed. But now, anyway, when I resume the game, we should hopefully see that next time my mason comes to start making things here, he's going to take only this stone. He's not going to go walk all the way here, go downstairs, grab whatever kind of stone, maybe obsidian, bring it back here. The stone's right here for him to use. It's a good way to kind of speed up and make the process more efficient too. So I don't know what he's doing right now. Let's see. I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to press U to bring up my unit list and see what he's doing. What is my mason doing? Well, I can see right here, here's my mason, he's eating. So, if you give guys a job and they don't do it right away, there's a good chance that they're either doing something else that you've assigned them to do earlier, or they're, taking the time to, take a break or go sleep or eat or drink. Well, this guy's eating. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while I wait for this guy to get done. Okay, my mason is done eating, and just as I had hoped, he is now taking stone from this pile to build his stuff. So let's see. Yeah, there he goes. So he just went a couple steps to this pile of alunite, and he's now making chairs or thrones out of alunite. So that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. So once I get these going, I can start building them. Well, ideally, you want to have you want to make a dining room which is surrounded by like real stone walls. These are clay walls. The reason is that you can smooth the stone and give them happy thoughts from being in such a fancy place, fancy dining hall. But well, I want to have them make a dining room just wherever. So what I'll do is go ahead and have them start setting up these tables. So the way I do that is by building the tables. Again, this is kind of counterintuitive, right? You might be inclined to think, well, the table's already built. Look, there they are. But building in some cases can refer to just placing things which have been crafted, if that makes sense. So I'm going to press B for building. I'm going to press T for table. You can see if I were to go scroll through this, that table is indeed hotkey T. So I'm going to press T for table. And now I'm going to designate that table to be placed right here. Okay, and I get to choose what kind of table. I've got one obsidian table and some alunite tables. Let's use the one obsidian table. I'm going to resume, and now somebody's going to come haul this table into this room, and I'll show you how to make this a dining room once the table is in place. So here this guy has hauled the table into place. He's putting the table there. Okay, pause the game. I'm going to use the Q key again. That is Q for set building task preferences. I'm going to come over by this table, just like I did with the beds, and I'll press R. It's going to make this a dining room. Now it's going to let me choose the size of the dining room, so I'm going to use plus to make this a little bigger, a little smaller, press enter. Now I get a dining room. I want this to be the new meeting hall, so my dwarves stop loitering outside of the wagon, which is set as a meeting hall by default. So I'm going to press H to set this from meeting hall no to meeting hall yes, and I'll press escape and resume the game. Now when my guys aren't doing anything, rather than hanging out outside at the wagon, they're going to hang out down here at this table. And I got to wrap up this video because I'm approaching 15-minute mark, but what I'm going to do next is take all of these tables and chairs and put them in here so that people have somewhere to sit. So you see, this is also a meeting hall for all the animals, so yeah, you have a flood of puppies in here now. Not the worst kind of flood for sure.